can start at any size from 6 inches by 6 inches all the way up to 24 by 36 for the photographic pearl paper, or our inkjet canvas goes up to 33 by 41. So as long as it's an even inch increment, you can choose whatever combination that you want on those. So that's pretty handy to do. You'll also see that you can do those with an edge wrap image or a solid color image, and you can do that in our ordering software. You can pick that edge color. We also have design guides available for those. So if you click on the resources over on the left side of the screen there, under the gallery wraps, keep going down just a little bit there. This will give you some hints and tips for sizing and final product and things like that, as well as some actions to help you lay it out if you want to, when you're doing your layout in Photoshop, which for this class isn't important because you guys have taken care of all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that should make it a lot easier to go through. So that's on the gallery wraps, and the metal's very, very similar. It's pretty much just get your images in there and go from there.
Awesome. And so very happy to welcome William. William, I think we have sound for you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. All right.
That's awesome.
Yes, and we're very happy to welcome William Innes. Here is his wonderful website. You'll have probably seen him speak everywhere. Where have you not spoken? So probably we'll see you next at WPPI. Is that correct?
I'm doing a photo walk there. I'm actually in Kentucky at Pro Photo Plus, not this coming weekend, the following weekend.
Nice.
With H&H.
Also sponsored by Panasonic, so be sure to check out his website, innesphotography.com. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to jump out of the web, and we'll go ahead and jump right in. So I'll kind of show you some of the nuts and bolts of Gallery Designer, and then also walk you through how you might use it in a sales presentation, and then also marketing. And maybe, William, this is a good time for you to kind of hop in and talk about how you use wall art for in your marketing.
I do. Although it's great to sell to clients, I think what a lot of photographers miss out on is offering these type of products to their vendors. And by vendors, I mean wedding planners. Venues is a big one. I love providing venues with lots of wall art, just like the picture you're showing right now. So when potential clients visit that venue, it's my work that's displayed prominently. I think it's a great marketing tool, and I think a lot of photographers overlook that.
Yeah, and then usually when you give that, do you usually put your logo on the wall art?
I do. Yep. I do. Although for some people I offer it, I give them the option of no logo, because some of the higher end venues here in LA prefer maybe not to have it.
Yep.
But at the same time, they know who gave it to them, and they know who to refer. And if the work is good, potential clients are going to ask who took those photographs.
And that's a great point. So maybe a quick little poll of question: who else provides wall art for their vendors? And Nick had a question for you, William, if you charge for the vendor displays.
I do not. It's one of the things I've always done. Not only wall art, I do prints and I do albums as well. Whenever I shoot somewhere that I really feel is my demographic, it fits a facility I want to go back at, and it's got my type of client. Whenever I shoot a wedding, I try to get to know the people there, and I ask them, is there anything I can do for you? And you don't want to be too pushy first time out, but maybe it's just a small print or something to get started. But if you keep that up, I have venues that'll have 42 images, and they're all mine, and I give them to them for nothing.
Yep. Yeah, and that's really, I think, what you're talking about is this is part of your marketing budget, right? So it's you pay for all of the wall art, maybe even go there and help them hang it, and then that's just part of your marketing budget, because they're going to refer those weddings to you versus someone else who didn't give them wall art to hang.
Absolutely.
And all right, did anybody have any other questions about doing the venues or offering wall prints for venues? All right, let's kind of jump in a little bit of just the functionality and how Gallery Designer kind of differs from other wall art design programs. For those that are familiar with Album Builder, you'll kind of be instantly familiar with wall art and how that works. Let's go ahead and bring another image in here. So what makes Fundy Designer a bit different is that there are no templates. So we can just grab these images and we can resize them bigger and smaller. I have this image here. I can go into the layouts and it will instantly line everything up for me, so I can just choose this layout if I want to. If you decide you want to stick another image between these two, you can do that, and the layout will automatically change to reflect those changes. So it's really fun, really easy to use. If you want to add another room, just add another room, and then we can throw some more images on there. Let's see, let's go down to, maybe some detail shots. And then we can swap out the rooms. And you can also add a custom room. So if your client sends you a picture of their living room, we can go ahead and just choose that picture. When the room comes in, you just measure anything in the room. So for example, this is a 42-inch TV. So I'm going to draw that diagonal line, do 42 inches, choose my design area. And then when I drag this in, it's going to auto resize to fit that room, so that this 24 by 16 is the size it would be next to this 42-inch TV. And so here's all of those rooms. So super easy to bring in a room, to design on a room, and then it's just a matter of deciding, what we want to design. So let's kind of go through the client process. Does anybody have any questions as we go? I'm seeing some questions, so let's kind of go through there. One question is are the sizes being displayed? So right here you can see 24 by 16. So those are the sizes of those. You can toggle that on and off. And then when we grab those and we go to different sizes, it just kind of does its thing. Looks like somebody's having trouble seeing a little bit. Dominique, you might want to check with our support. They'll chat back with you. Fabiana asked what we are clicking to go from one screen to another. Sure. So over here on the left side, we have our images panel or the rooms panel. So when I click on rooms, I'll get the rooms. And we can change out those rooms just by dragging them in. And if I click on the images panel, we can see the images. When we're designing, I can click on this layouts button, and that will give me the different layout options available. And if we want to, we can swap out some images, right? Change those up really easy. So those are basically what I've been clicking on so far. And then up top here, you'll notice if we double click on this image, you can see your gallery wrap, and that's kind of what Bentley was talking about, so we can see those edges. And if I change to metal prints, you'll notice that the zoom changed because there's no wrap, so we'll go edge to edge on those metal prints. Pop up in some questions. All right, so Linda asked if you can do it on your laptop in the client's home. Sure. So this is a desktop program. You can load it on a laptop, desktop. You can hook up to a TV, you can hook up to a projector. And then Robert asked if you can load your price list, and that question is yes. Right here, you can edit your pricing, and so we have all of H&H sizes right here. You can put in your pricing, and once you put in that pricing, it's going to automatically tally up that room total for you right here. All right, so going through, does the layout account for wrap area? Matt asked about an order form. There is an order form built in, so you can play around with that. And then Robert, I believe I answered your question. So he asked if it will display the total cost. And so the answer is yes. So you add in your separate pricing and we'll add everything up for you. All right, so it looks like there's some small questions. We'll have support go ahead and answer those. So just check your question panel and support will respond to you. All right, so let's go ahead and let's open up William's engagement shoot. And maybe William, can you just tell us the story behind this shoot? You know, who are these couple? How did you meet them and book them? You know, what was their story? Why did they choose this location? And a little bit of backstory with this client.
Can you hear me? Because I've lost my video screen.
Oh, really?
Yep. So
I
can. Okay.
Can everybody else see the video? Let's do a little check because maybe I can restart that.
I don't know what happened here. I'm afraid to do anything because I don't want to lose the audio. Yeah. So I can just tell you that.
But you're not seeing the screen. Let me check and see. Is everybody else seeing the screen? Yeah, everybody else is seeing the videos.
Yeah, it's something here, so I'm not going to worry about it yet.
Okay, so just so you know, this is the engagement session you sent that's in the park.
Right. It's a young couple, and they are getting married at a local venue, and sure enough, they saw some of the canvases I had hanging in that particular venue. So that's how they reached out to me, and then we had a consultation where I showed them a bunch of sample albums and other work, and we just talked, but they were already sold with the images that they saw hanging in their particular venue. Before my screen went dark, I did see somebody ask, do I choose the images or does the venue choose the images that I give them? And to answer that is I usually let them choose off my blog. So I'll send them a blog post from an engagement session or a wedding. Those pictures have been had a little bit extra done to them in Photoshop. And I tell my venues, hey, choose any photo you like on my blog, and then I'll get you wall art or an album made with those images.
Nice.
While we're talking, I am going to try to come back.
All right, okay, so I'll let you log out and come back in. So, all right, so we have an engagement session here, and one of the great things about engagement sessions is signing books. So here's a signing book I've designed real quick with some white space in Album Builder, and then let's go ahead and open up Gallery Designer. And I did a quick mock-up, and let's kind of walk through the process you might use with some clients. So Lisa had a really good question before I jump in here. She asked about the distance between the canvases. So one of the things that we learned getting into this is that distances between images will vary depending on the size of the images because you have to use math to line them up, right? So they will vary with the layout, and then when the client receives them, it's best just to instruct the client to lay things out before hanging it on the wall, and it's usually very obvious how to lay them out so everything lines up. All right, so the first thing that I always like to do when the client comes in and sits down, show them an example on the wall and say, this is our goal. We're going to get you some wall art for your home. This is an example of things I like to sell, and get them in that mindset of purchasing the wall art. So Kathy asked, what size is this layout? So you notice this underneath each photo gives the size. So this is a 40 by 30 and then 11 by 14s on each side. So the very first thing I want to do is do a slideshow. And so we click the slideshow button. We have $600 worth of free music from Triple Scoop Music here. Choose your song. You can choose what order. You can randomize. You can choose the time between the slideshow. And so we'll click play, and then the slideshow will start playing. Just hit the exit key to cancel out. So the reason we want to do a slideshow is that it gets that emotional involvement in the images. And we want to get that emotional involvement, and then we go into the sales session. So the next thing I want to do is double click on an image here, and this brings us up into our image viewer. So can everybody see the image viewer here? This is one image up top and then the thumbnails down below. Everybody see that? Okay, so the next step, and just so I know, how many people have done in-person sales? If you could just respond with a me or not me, letting know if you've done in-person sales before. Okay, great. So looks like a lot of people done in-person sales. That's great. So you guys can back me up, and then so it's very simple. One thing that I think is important with in-person sales is to be able to keep that eye contact and that conversation going with the client, because it's really all about them. And so as we're going, everything can be run off of your arrow keys, right? So the bottom right of your keyboard, you have your arrow keys. Right? If I use the right arrow key, move to the right, left arrow key, move to the left. And then to favorite an image, you just hit the up arrow. So you'll notice that that image, the little heart, was tagged and automatically moved to the next image. Right? So we're going to go through. If they change their mind, they say, oh, actually not that one, just use the down arrow key and it will unfavor that image, and then up arrow to favorite an image. Right? Super easy. Right. Any questions about going through and getting clients' favorites with them? Is that all good? Any questions on tagging favorites for the client? Because that's a really important step, is to get the clients to commit to their favorite images. All right, so looks like that's okay. The only question is, how do you get to that view? Just double click on an image and it will bring you into that view. And if you double click on any image, oops, let me go ahead. Oh, it looked like Michelle came on. So if you double click on any image, that image will be highlighted. And then when we exit out of that, down at the bottom of the thumbnails, you'll see a little heart, and you can click there, and then we'll see only the favorites. So again, only the favorites. All right, so now I have their favorites, and let's go ahead, I'll go back to this view. I'm going to delete the mock-up that I did so we can start with what they're choosing. So let's go ahead, and what I like to do is just get all of the images on the room, and I'll choose images that go together. And do some quick mock-ups. And maybe throw some different rooms in there. So let's throw this room here, maybe a dining room there. And if they have sent you their room, go ahead and load that up in there. And from there, we can dive into the design. Which actually, this one worked out pretty good. We can bring that one in there if we want. And remember, this is live design. If you don't like the one that pops up, we can make this smaller over here. I can grab these guys over here, move this over here. We can go click the layout buttons, go to our quick design picker, choose a completely different design. All right, so I'm gonna have just a little fun designing there. So obviously you can do whatever you would like to do with your design, but I just want to show you how flexible it is. All right, before I jump into the next process, I'd like to hop into the questions. Anybody have any questions about how to design? It's really easy. You just drop the images in, you can move them around. It's kind of what you see is what you get, and it's super flexible. So you don't have to worry about doing exact templates, making sure your templates match up to the number of images. You just drag your images on the page, and that's where our technology comes in, is we design around your images, not forcing your images into some box template on a page. So let me hop into the questions real quick. So Jay Robinson said, how do you group the images that go together? You just select your images, just like you would in any program using your Shift or Command key, drag them onto a room, and you're done. So let's see the next question. How do you import the rooms? So again, all of the rooms that you're seeing are rooms that are preloaded. In here, to add a custom room, down at the bottom you just click Add Custom Room and choose the image of that room, and then you can size that room. And there we go. Now Robert asked I'll let the support answer that one. So Fabiana has a great question about gift prints. So we don't have a system to add gift prints right now. We'll be adding that in the fall. And up under the My Orders menu, we have a client invoice form. Let me close out all of these. So this comes free with the software. So you can put in the order here, right? So we have whatever they decide to order, we can fill that out, put in the price, everything adds up. So you would put in your gift prints here. So for example, let's say they order, let's say they ordered a few 8x10s. So we would add all of that up, right? So that would work right there. So Laura asked entering the wall measurements to work on that. So that would be when you bring in that image, if you would make marks on the wall or put up tape on the wall, you could match that design area to that area that you would like to work in.
Fundy, I have a quick one for you. I think
Sure.
I mentioned this in Atlanta. I know somebody that makes wall clings, and I do believe H&H sells wall
Yeah.
clings, and they make them in exactly like a foot long with their logo on it.
Yeah.
And they give it to clients, and they say, "Hey, just go stick this on your wall and take a picture with an iPhone."
Oh, that's a great
and
idea.
they know exactly it's a foot long.
Yep. And then Laura asked, is that order form in the gallery module? Correct. Under my orders, that client invoice form is in the gallery module. So you can go ahead and use that anytime. So once we've gone through that process, we can decide which rooms they want to actually order, right? I'm going to go ahead and check these guys with a little green check mark. So let's say they want to order these 2 rooms. We can click the little calculator. Once your price is in there, we can total that up so we know the total of that room. And we know the total of this room. Now we're ready to export. So a couple cool things, we can export for the web or for our proofing system. And when we export for the web or the proofing system, I'll go ahead and export these. When you click export, you can choose which rooms you want to export, and you'll notice that the 2 that I checked off are already chosen for us. Let's go ahead and I'll make a folder called web so you can see that. So when we export for the web, it exports this preview for us. So there's a few great ways to use these. So obviously we can use these to send to our client to confirm their order, right? So they get really excited about it. We can post these to Facebook and our blog, which means that we're marketing for future clients, right? You can say, what's the name of this bride and groom, William, again?
Good question.
You don't remember? Bob and Mary?
Sure, Bob and Mary.
Yeah, so for example, Bob and Mary just ordered this great grouping for their dining room, and then that encourages future clients to do the same, right? Because you want to start attracting clients that want to order this, right? If Bob and Mary's friends go to Bob and Mary's house and they see this great collage on their wall, they're going to want one too. And here's one of my favorite bonuses is under the export. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of a couple of these images so it goes a little bit faster. But I'll ask a little rhetorical question. Who likes to open up photos and recrop them so that for ordering? You know that where you open each photo and then you have to crop it and then you have to match the crop and then you have to make sure the photo's the right size for photos, that cropping process. That's a whole lot of fun. Everybody love that? Please everybody say no, because it's not very much fun.
No, I hate it.
So when I do export for print, let's go ahead. I'm just going to export this one here, just that one room. When I export for print, we do all of the cropping for you, and we also do all of the upsizing and downsizing. So we've implemented bicubic sharpening for both for our upsizing and downsizing. So you're going to get very, very near the same quality that you would get out of Lightroom or Photoshop with upsizing and downsizing. So you don't need to worry about bringing these files into another program for cropping them. You just click export and we'll do all of that for you. So, and then also when you get ready to send these off to H&H, we also put what size they are. So when you go through their order forms, you don't have to worry about ordering the wrong size or remember which image was big, which was small. So here we have that one big 20 by 30. and then we have the 8x8 or the 6x6 and the 6x6, 6x6. So we've done all the cropping, it's ready to order, and you're done. One thing I didn't show you for people who are using projectors for in-person sales, which I highly recommend, you'll notice this actual size button here. If we click this actual size and we choose calibrate, all I have to do is measure this little bar on the wall, right? We're projecting on the wall or on a TV, and that looks, what is that, maybe 5 inches on my screen probably. So I'm just going to say 5 inches. And so now this 6x6 is exactly the size of a 6x6. So if you imagine, if you go to your client's house and use a projector, you can project on their walls the actual size that their collage will be. Or if you're in your studio and your clients say, oh, that 16x20 is plenty big enough, and you can project that at actual size, they'll notice that a 16x20 actually is not very big, and they probably want a 20x30 or a 30x40. So projecting actual size is a really big selling tool. So we wanted to make sure that that was available in Gallery Designer. All right, so Eunice had a great question. Once the images are done, can you use the same images in Album Builder? And yes, so that's one of the things that I was personally really excited, is that we wanted to build all of the tools into one piece of software. So here we have this engagement shoot, and with the same images and the tagging stays the same, you can also design a book in the same exact software without missing a beat. So one of the great things that you can do in a sales session is you sell a wall art, right? You're not going to sell 20 images on the wall because the client, price or whatever, but you can say, hey, we have all these other images. Let's go ahead and make a book. Let's make a signing book, or let's make an album, and easily add that onto it. So just to give you an idea of if you are doing in-person sales, awesome. If you're not, highly recommend getting into it. Initial feedback from just a few of our customers. One of our customers, Dark Roof Photography out of New Orleans, did their first in-person sales with Gallery Designer, and they made $3,500. Talked to another one of our clients, Anna, that she's going to be coming to WPPI. She's been averaging $3,500 per sale with Gallery Designer. So it's a really powerful tool. We built it to help you guys make a lot more money and then also save a bunch of time. I'm huge on time saver. One of the things too, let's say they order, actually, let's go back into Gallery Designer here. All right, let's say they've ordered this, but you need to do some retouching. Our program is set up to work alongside whatever editor you use. So if I click on this and I click on this image here, I can pop that image into Photoshop, do my retouching, flatten it, and save, and we're done. So you can connect it to your favorite photo editing software, and you don't have to go back and forth. Do your editing in Photoshop, save it, it'll auto update in Fundy Designer, and you're done. All right, so that's basically it for today. So we've showed you how to use Gallery Designer, that you can use it along with Album Builder, that when used in in-person sales, You can make a lot of money. Williams talked about how he uses it to just get clients in the door by doing galleries for their venues. With venues, one of the things that I know with it just coming out, you probably haven't used it yet with the venue since it's so new, but you could have the venue take a picture of the wall where you want to put it and then do the mock-up and send them that web export before you even make the order.
That's an amazing idea, and that would really separate you from the competition too. It's like going the extra step.
Exactly.
I have one more quick comment I just want to make. One thing I love about the whole Fundy Designer program is because I love albums, and I love making blog collages, and now with doing wall art, it's all the same program. So once you learn how to use it, it doesn't matter if you're designing for wall art, you're making a blog collage, or you're designing an album. It's the same tools. It makes it that easy.
Yeah, thanks. That's one of the things that we love is that once you learn how to use one of the modules, you can use everything else, right? If you're used to using Album Builder, you instantly know that you can click on the layout button in Gallery Designer, and that's where all of your layouts are. And from using the previous programs, you can just drag images around and move them around without any fuss. So Nancy asked about the cost of the program. So we'll be sending out a special coupon code to you guys. The full suite is $4.99, and that gets you Gallery Designer, Album Builder, Blog Collage, and Image Brander. And then just the Gallery Designer is $249. So as we talked with before, if the clients I've been talking to have been averaging between $2,000 and $4,000 a sale, $249, use it once, and you make your money back 10 times over. So that's our goal for you, is that you guys get to be really profitable with wall art in addition to albums. So Laura asked about how to translate this project into the H&H order process. So you'll notice that I did the export for print. Let me show you that again. Right, so when we did a gallery, this is a different gallery, but we export for print, and it's going to export individual files for each of the wall art pieces, right? So this would be 5 canvases. Then you would open H&H's ordering program and then load this into the ordering program and just order those pieces a la carte, just like you would any other item through H&H. So we basically prep everything for you, and then you just go through your regular order process. All right, so looks like we have a few questions that we'll leave for our support team to answer, the very specific questions for individuals. We'll go ahead and leave the webinar open so you guys can answer those questions. I'd like to thank H&H and William Innes for attending the webinar. Thank you guys so much. Bentley, would you like, or Michelle, would you like to give a little closing information before we get off the line here?
I don't know if you
Michelle.
can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Oh, hi. This is Michelle. I finally figured out how to handle the audio over here. Bentley and I Skyped the whole time trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. So I tried to answer as many questions as I could on the panel there. So obviously we appreciate William coming on and doing the webinar with Fundy. And if you have any questions regarding the H&H portion of it or ordering from H&H, obviously call us. In customer service, we'll be glad to help you. And that's our HH Studio software. We will be sending a follow-up email blast after the webinar is over to all the attendees with a special coupon, and so you can look for that in your email as well.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity also for, if you don't have wall art on the walls, using that coupon to get some samples in your studio or samples out to your vendors too.
Right.
And then, William, a big thank you to you for taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it. Really excited to see what you start doing for your vendors and your clients with Gallery Designer.
Awesome, I'm excited. And if anybody has any questions for me as far as how I use albums or products for marketing, just go on my website and reach out to me. I'll be happy to get back to you and answer those via email or text.
Yeah, and then the same here. If you go to our website, just click on support, and then you can contact our support team for any questions you might have.
Right. One more thing from H&H that Bentley reminded me is that if you are a brand new customer, if you sign up for an account, you will get a new customer $50 credit posted to your account when you send your first order within 30 days. So that is in addition to any other coupons or specials that we run. So.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, you guys have a great day, and then I will go ahead and leave the webinar running so you can ask any questions. I'll shut down the screen sharing and stop the recording, but we'll leave the webinar open so you guys can ask any questions to our support team or anybody for the next 5 or 10 minutes until the questions die down. All right, guys. Have a great, great day.
Thank you. You too.